I think it's important to recognise that we all have responsibility for what happens around the world. Gandhi once said, we must be the change we wish to see in the world, that each one of us has a responsibility in that regard.
The recession. It's affected all of us, and coloured perhaps forever how our news is reported. From the media's overzealous reaction to the expenses scandal to our unfavourable outlook on mismanagement in big business, recession has shaped every story with any economic connection for well over a year. But is a recession a story of nationwide loss, or has the media misled us in its sensationalist attempts to overstate the negative side? It's no secret that the high street banks have lost a staggering amount of the public's money, but has everyone suffered, and have we learnt the right lessons on behalf of those who have? In the aftermath of what may only be the beginning of a devastating economic downturn, stories of hope can be found amidst the ruin. Some small businesses have managed to exploit the gaps left in the market by the collapse of their larger rivals, and although the financial losses of recession have damaged the lives of many individuals, there are those for whom the recession has been a non-event, or even an opportunity.
Yeah, Mum's gone into, I think Mum's gone into debt.
My businesses have actually been affected in Nottingham. We've still got a slight improvement in Sheffield.
Over the summer I couldn't get a job.
The recession's been strange really in a way. It's affected a lot of the larger sort of multinational companies, which has potentially created opportunities for the smaller businesses. Some have struggled and some have gone through the wall, but others have found it to be an opportunity to get into markets because there's been gaps in the market created by some real failures.
And just one such small business is this microbrewery in Nottingham, where the adaptability of their business has enabled them to rapidly react to the problems of recession far quicker than their big money counterparts.
We've been going 3.5 years and each year has been better than the previous one on sales. I think you'll find if you talk to any real ale brewery, any microbrewery around here and around the country, that it's one of the few industries that's doing quite well. Now part of that is that the big chains, which are not recession proof, are not doing well and they're selling off some of their pubs. Our customer service is pretty good. I mean, if somebody rings today wanting beer tomorrow, the odds are we'll be able to deliver it. Well, the big boys can't do that. As a business, you could sort of see that it's affected us a little bit more in that far more people owe us far more money at the end of this January than did in the previous January, and I don't think that's a coincidence. A lot of pubs now are saying, can you give me 30 days credit? And I think most people who have an alcohol problem have their alcohol problem mostly at home. If anybody's to blame, it's supermarkets who sell strong beer at ridiculously cheap prices. Binge drinking occurs mainly in big city centre drinking factories who have ridiculous offers. But this is what one understands is the basis of the binge drinking. Our part of the industry doesn't encourage that because we don't do offers like that, we just sell beer. I think the debts that are in some of the big pub chains and the rents and prices that they charge their tenants are going to make those companies struggle to come out of the recession. In the round, I think the trend towards drinking at home is much more of a threat to that industry than anything about binge drinking. Most of our networks are with other microbrewers, and we're all finding the same, that business is quite brisk at the moment and we're doing okay.
In fact, it seems the UK's alcohol consumption has seen little change in net terms, although the manner in which we consume it certainly has. While recession has seen those who view alcohol as a luxury decrease their expenditure, others now see it as an essential respite from the daily grind of life in the recession.
I don't drink as much because I can't afford to anyway.
Yeah, I don't drink as much.
No, because they've got special deals on drinks to accommodate, so big clubs are able to do that.
I drink less.
At the Out Factory, I've stopped.
I'll only drink when I need to.
It really is unaffordable.
I think it's important to recognise that we're not just an economy, that we are a society, and that the economy is a key part of the wider society within which our economic activity is embedded. And we have to recognise the kinds of social problems that these economic difficulties create. Alcoholism, though, is that a direct result of the recession, or are problem drinkers experiencing more problems during problem times?
And it's not just alcohol that's kept our spirits up during the recession. The confectionery industry too has benefited from our need to indulge ourselves in low times. Chocolate sales in particular remain disproportionately high compared to other consumables. It seems the recession has cut our pay, but not delivered this reduction to our waistlines, so don't expect the obesity crisis to leave the front page news anytime soon.
Yeah, I eat more.
No, not at all. I still eat as much chocolate as used to.
Yeah, and I'm eating less chocolate because it's become a bit more expensive.
No, they've not changed at all.
As with the microbrewery, it's small confectioners such as this traditional factory in Huthwaite who have experienced a rise in the cost of ingredients, but no drop-off in sales.
People are sitting at home and not going out, the comfort these days, you know. We've had a lot more new customers last year than we've had in the past, and they're still with us.
Our need to indulge ourselves extends beyond our stomachs though, ironically to the world of personal treatment. Does our continuing need to be pampered betray a casual attitude to the effects of recession? Some health and beauty spas have seen a marked increase in custom, something this owner attributes exclusively to the recession.
Talking to the clients, people are just so fed up with hearing everything on the media. They want that little pick-me-up, and they can't afford, maybe if they're cutting back on holidays, they're finding the money they need that treat and that kind of same feeling, so they're coming to a spa to get that treatment to pick me up. I say they just want an escape from the bombardment of the stresses of money, and obviously the recession has hit everybody personally, and like the cutting back of holidays and everything. I think they're just quite fed up, and they need that little pick-me-up and that boost to make them feel like, you know, the feeling when you come back off your holiday, that refreshment, that relaxation. They want that feeling, but without the cost of flights and everything like that. So we feel that people have been coming to us for that. Because I like to go around for research purposes only, obviously, but to other spas, and they're saying we're fully booked all the time.
Alcohol, chocolate, beauty treatments, all of them luxuries that many working adults are happy to pay for despite the economic downturn. There are some businesses, however, for whom the recession has spelt nothing but disaster. Perhaps you don't consider driving a luxury, but in a recession, it seems more and more young people are viewing it as a lifestyle accessory they will, for the foreseeable future, be living without.
I've suffered mainly because people can't afford driving lessons. It's not a necessity in life, it's an extra. People are paying for the essential things, and unfortunately the people like me, driving instructors and other non-essentials, are losing out. I have lost out. At the end of the day, you're looking at £50 to obtain a provisional licence, and nowadays £50 can buy an awful lot more of essential things, and it's hit the younger ones mainly, the students, who really struggle to find that first £50 to get the provisional licence, and then obviously to pay for lessons on top of that. It's the youngsters I've lost rather than the more mature drivers. I've still kept most of my mature drivers. It is definitely the youngsters that are finding it hardest. I am in touch with a lot of driving schools. We all have a monthly meeting where we all get together to discuss various issues, and to be honest, I don't know of anybody that hasn't suffered as a result of this recession. We're all in the same boat. We've all lost a good deal of lessons. We've all suffered because petrol prices are higher than they should be, and obviously, you know, we can't put prices up because people are struggling now. So I don't know anybody that's not had an effect on their driving school. I've had a bit more interest since Christmas. I've had 4 new starters since Christmas, which is the most I've had for about the last 18 months in the space of 6 weeks. So yes, I would say that, albeit very slowly, things are coming together again.
As the dark veil of recession hints at being lifted, perhaps it's really time to start asking ourselves whether our own behaviour before and during the recession really represents a mature and ethical response to it.
I think as soon as we start to say it's that individual or that group of businesses or them, we can walk away self-satisfied, but it doesn't do much to address the underlying structural problems that exist.
Though the recession has had an obvious negative side, the booming business in some luxury markets undermine any claims that we've learned any real lessons. or drastically changed our ways as a result of it. So who are we still blaming, if not ourselves?
Politics, just politics in general.
Oh well, you can always place blame with politicians.
Heads of banks messing it up, probably. Government as well.
Gordon Brown.
I don't give a f***, you know. It don't matter if it's not about government, you know. It don't matter who's in power. They'll all be the same. Bunch of arse.
Clearly, the World Banks.
Tony Blair.